Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ Aaron Rift, here to answer your questions about the world of wrestling. So let's get right down to it. Hey Aaron, 2-in-1 question here. 2 for the price of 1. 1, what do you think Piper's pit with him asking him if the boos are getting to Cena will lead to? 2nd, we've seen John Laurinaitis text almost every segment. What can that possibly mean? Okay, let's start off with your first question. I'm not sure what it's leading to. It did feel to me like a tease for a John Cena heel turn, but as we all know, WWE is very much against the idea of turning John Cena heel due to all the merchandise sales and potentially alienating that young audience, you know, the little kids and also the women as well. Now, one idea I had, and I mentioned this a few weeks back for the prior to Survivor Series, why not have Cena play a similar role to what Bret Hart did in 1997, where he would be a heel to the male audience and he would still be a babyface to the kids and the women. You don't really have to change John Cena's character. You know, they could have it play out the next several months where Cena just appears to get more and more frustrated with the boos, and finally at WrestleMania he just snaps on the Rock and maybe uses a steel chair or something, and that would be the heel turn with the male audience. But Cena can then say, you know what, I'm done with all you male fans. I've tried for so many years to be the nice guy here and to just let it slide, but you know what, you guys are assholes and screw you. It doesn't have to say it exactly like that, although that would be entertaining. But something along that line where Cena would just say, I'm fed up with you guys, and if for the people that still believe in me, I'll be here for you, but the rest of you can all go straight to hell. I think that would be a great storyline, and it would work because you wouldn't have to change John Cena's character. You could just say, it would be understandable that he would finally get fed up with these people, and he could kind of play it in the same way that Bret Hart did, where he said, you guys turned on me, I didn't turn on you. I've always given 100% to you guys, and you guys don't appreciate it. So we'll see what happens with that. As far as John Laurinaitis goes, the texting and all that, it's probably going to lead to nothing. I mean, there have been so many storylines in the past year or so that just end up being dropped for no reason. And I really don't think that there's going to be a payout for this storyline. I just think that, WWE's doing it to try to get people to tune in and get interested and speculate. But in the end, I think it's going to be a disappointment. Favorite faction of all time. My top 5 are 4 Horsemen, DX, NWO, Fabulous Freebirds, and Evolution. Well, I know a lot of old school fans would say Horsemen because without the Horsemen, there wouldn't have been an NWO or a DX or an Evolution, so on and so forth. But I would have to go with the NWO because the NWO, from a box office standpoint, made the biggest impact in the wrestling business. The NWO is what changed the game. Without the NWO, you wouldn't have had Steve Austin or DX or even the Attitude Era. It was partly, ECW's influence, but also the NWO made wrestling more, of an adult-oriented product and edgier. The NWO, with the spray paint, the black T-shirts, and, all the wrestling shirts now are black T-shirts for the most part, with the exception of Mr. Fruity Pebbles. But, it was the NWO that started that trend of the black T-shirts, being popular in wrestling. So, I'd have to go all around, with the NWO. And those storylines were cutting edge at the time. Every week you would tune into Nitro not knowing what to expect. So, yeah, definitely my number 1 would be NWO. And number 2 would either have to be 4 Horsemen or DX. Take your pick. Hey, Aaron, do you think that Randy Orton is being punished by the WWE? For one of their bigger stars, he's been on a bit of a losing streak after Survivor Series and isn't even in the World Heavyweight title picture anymore. Could it be because of what he said about The Rock? No, I don't think WWE is punishing Randy Orton at all. Right now, what they're trying to do is push new guys. Randy Orton has been on top for several years now, 6, 7 years. I don't even know how long it's been. But WWE is just trying to get some new blood into the mix, and in order to do that, Randy Orton has to, step down a little bit and not be the number 1 guy, although he still pretty much is the top guy on SmackDown. No matter what, if he wins or loses, he's still the biggest star on the brand. And this could be a sign that he's going to get a big push. I mean, people have been asking me about the Royal Rumble and all that. It's going to be in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. Traditionally, the hometown guy doesn't win, but I think there's a good shot that Orton's going to pick up the Royal Rumble win this year. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But I suspect he's going to get a big win in the near future. With all these losses, traditionally in WWE, when you have a losing streak, you end up coming back and scoring a big win. So we'll see what happens with Randy Orton. But I definitely don't see that the idea of him being punished or anything like that. Are you amazed that almost every champion in TNA currently has never competed in WWE? It has to be some sort of record. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. I got to give TNA some credit. We don't talk about much about TNA on here, but I think their shows have definitely been a step in the right direction. It's not perfect, but I do think that the shows have been better over the last several weeks with Bobby Roode being the world champion and James Storm feuding with Kurt Angle and just getting some new guys into the mix and the lack of Hogan and the lack of Flair. I think Impact has definitely been a better product as of late. Still has a lot of work to be done, but any improvement is better than no improvement. Is Jericho correct about not being the It Begins? Could it be the new indestructible Terminator character Ryback that Skip Sheffield is set to debut soon? Well, who knows what's going on with the It Begins? There's all sorts of rumors. One source says that it's Jericho, another source says that it's The Undertaker, and everyone's going to speculate, and there's going to be tons of rumors. But it's good on WWE's part because it's getting people talking. So one thing WWE's always been good with is these little surprise mystery storyline vignettes or whatever. The thing is, if it's Skip Sheffield, fans are going to see it as a disappointment because he is a familiar face, but if he's coming in as an entire new character, it's not going to make any sense because in the promos, the guy talked about being a familiar face. So therefore, I suspect that it's somebody like Jericho or Undertaker, and it really needs to be a big star to deliver, to live up to the expectations, because everyone's thinking it's going to be this top level name. But yeah, I'm guessing it's either Undertaker or Jericho, and I'm leaning towards Undertaker just because I think Jericho's happy doing other things right now, and I really don't see him coming back when The Rock is the focal point right now in WWE going into WrestleMania. I think Jericho would want to pick his spot a little bit better, to come back at a time when he can be the focal point. Do you prefer Sheamus as a face or a heel? Personally, I preferred him as a heel because his character suits a heel more, even though people are saying his face turn did him more good than harm. I think he's great as a babyface. I think Sheamus, he's a powerhouse. He's a likable guy. He has charisma and personality, and he comes out, does his pose. Everybody does the pose along with him. I think he does a very good job in the babyface role, and yeah, and you know what? It's moved him up the ladder. I mean, as a heel, he was. They didn't really do a whole lot of good with him as a heel. I mean, when he first came in, they had him end Jamie Noble's career, and they were doing good for a little while. But then they turned him into the cowardly heel, and he's a big guy. He's intimidating. So, if you're gonna push him as a heel, make him a badass. But they didn't really do that. They kind of made him a joke. But now as a babyface, I kind of like him as this anti-bully, good guy who comes and beats up the bad guys, and he does his role very well. All right, that'll do it for today's edition of NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. You can submit a comment at youtube.com/NoDQCAW. What do you think about Sheamus? Do you like him as a face? Do you like him as a heel? Who do you think is behind the It Begins promo? Do you think it's Undertaker? Do you think it's Jericho? Let me know what you think about some of the answers to the questions today. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please subscribe. Please spread the word. I really do appreciate all the support from you guys. And on that note, we'll see you next time.